Quiet down and listen up. Tony is talking.
Everybody, Tony Katz here. Thanks for watching this episode of Tony is Talking. Came across two articles that I think really explain the issue and the true substance behind this administration and the thought process of this administration. I go first to Bloomberg.com for the words of Vice President Biden, which are always classic. And he says right here, it's just really hard to convince people that when they weren't net new jobs, it's awful hard to say it's working. He's saying that he had a hard time telling people, because there were no new jobs coming, that the stimulus plan is working. The translation? People can't understand that since there are no new jobs, how can a stimulus plan be working, even though it is working, because Vice President Biden told them that it's working. The second story comes from President Obama himself, and this comes from USAtoday.com, where the president was asked what has surprised him most since being in office, other than the fact that it's a job and it has work to do and you get judged on the work that you do. He said the answer is the 24/7 media, and I quote here from USA Today, "I've been surprised by how the news cycle here in Washington is focused on what happens this minute as opposed to what needs to happen over the course of months and years. The 24-hour news cycle is just so lightning fast, and the attention span, I think, is so short that sometimes it's difficult to keep everybody focused on the long term." Translation, the media confuses people and they can't understand what I'm doing. From these two articles, you can really get an understanding of how the statist mind thinks. The issue is not them, the issue is you. The problem is you can't understand. The problem is other people are distracting you because you are so a believer in little shiny objects that it keeps you from looking at the goal and focusing on what's really happening. You're the problem. You're the one who can't keep up. It's never the statist, it's always you. Even Speaker Pelosi said we have to pass the bill so you can know what is in it. I couldn't make that up if I wanted to. The statist can't tell you the truth. So they have to devise ways to show you that it's about you not being able to understand their high intellect and what they're doing for you. God bless their souls. That's what they're about. The real story is that they cannot tell you the truth. Because if they tell you the truth, they will expose themselves as the big government hacks who want to control how you live, where you live, and when you live. If you look at forced universal health care, what are they supposed to tell you? Bill Maher talks about the fact that Democrats should be running on forced universal health care, how it's a triumph. But if they try to explain to you forced universal health care, there is no way to avoid the conversation of rationing, to avoid the conversation of government interference, and to avoid the conversation of you being forced into contract against your will. If they want to run on the financial reform regulations and the financial reform law, there is no way for them not to talk about the 9-person panel that can break up any company, public or private, if they deem that company too big to fail. Meaning your company is at risk of being broken up because some 9-person panel you never vote for and you might not even know who they are decides it needs to be broken up for the betterment of America. The statist cannot be honest about their position because when they are exposed. So what does the statist do? Deflection and misdirection. Oh, no, it's not that we're not doing a great job. It's that you can't understand it. Oh, that media, if they would only focus on the real issues and not be worried about this, that, and the other, and moving all sorts of quick, we could get this understood by the American people and they'd be on board with us. But they're just too confused. No one is confused by the sickness of statism. That's why we're voting in November. That's why we're voting in 2012. And that's why we're voting, engaged, and paying attention for the rest of our lives. We're not confused by statists. We're just sick of them.
Listen to the Tony Katz Radio Spectacular Monday through Friday on the All Patriots Media Network. Copyright 2010, allpatriotsmedia.com.